Luke Weaver, welcome to the Mets. Welcome to Port St. Lucie.
Yes.
Good to see you. What was the biggest decision for you when you decided to go from the Bronx to Queens, and why did that come to fruition for you?
Sure. Yeah, the big thing was the challenge in conquering the color choice. Being a Florida State Seminole, I knew I had to look it dead in the face and say, we're going to do this. But seriously, the team speaks for itself. I mean, highly competitive, one of the best teams in the league. Every year has its successes and its failures, and you just kind of learn from them and, keep doing the things that are good. So obviously a bit of a shakeup with this team, the way they kind of put things together, a new addition. So I don't really know about the past or care too much for it. I just want to look on the future and really just the present and get to know these guys and just be a part of something big. That's
You've been both a starter and a reliever in your career. Did starting help pave the way to success in the bullpen for you?
It did, because it came with a lot of failure. Hitters are pretty good to try to do it 3 times through, so hats off to guys doing it as long as they do. It really did. It made me learn how to pitch. I think as a reliever, taking that jump was a bit of a pride check. I think every starter they want to do that as long as they can.
Sure.
It's the meat and potatoes, right? And at the end of the day, you just self-evaluate and say, where am I at? And I could be good at whatever I put my mind to, and that's kind of the challenge I took on. And with that being said, I take a lot of my starting mindset and tendencies, and I try to push it into my relief ability and really just setting up hitters, trying to use accuracy as best as I can, not really relying on trying to be nasty. When nasty's there, we take full advantage.
Sure.
But every day comes with its own goods and bads, and being able to kind of get there quicker on the mound and settle down and slow the game down is probably my biggest takeaway.
You made that transition from starter to reliever pretty seamlessly and pretty rapidly.
Well, thank you.
As a full, and it's not easy as you made it look.
Sure.
It's a different mindset. And with that, in that first full season for you as a reliever, you had stepped into that closer's role and done it very admirably. You had a chance last year, and then you came down with a hamstring injury. But with that lower leverage to high leverage to the most leverage, how is that for you mentally? Because it wasn't as easy as you made it look, but what was that for you mentally to make that transition?
Yeah, great question, because when 2024 started, it was just a dude trying to, continue to try to make a mark, get back on his feet, keep the momentum, and really push it and ride it. And long relief was how it started, and then it ended in a really cool way for me. So I think along the way, it just simply came down to kind of staying even-keeled. The next new challenge was not as big of a deal as it needed to be. Taking on a closer role was never, in my mind, accepting that label, because that label then put unneeded pressure on myself and stress. And so when you go into a ninth-inning game and it's 1 run and I got to close it out, that doesn't typically go well. So I just always said I was a dude trying to get 3 outs or 1+ or whatever it is, and that made it easier for me just to kind of stay right in neutral.
That's the key. You got to trick yourself sometimes.
Yes.
You
did it very well over the years.
I'm still doing it. So the one thing that I talked about earlier with Devin Williams was how rare it is for a high leverage reliever to feature a changeup. He does it very well. He's got the Airbender, one of the coolest nicknames. I mean, on the same team, we get to say Ghost Fork and Airbender. I love it. You also feature a changeup as your most dominant pitch, I would say. You've got a really good fastball, but your changeup is your bread and butter. Yeah. How did that develop, and how does that translate to the rarity of having a changeup dominant pitch in the bullpen?
Yeah, I missed the mark on giving my pitch a nickname. Didn't really feel like it qualified.
Self-appointed nicknames.
There's a baseball here if you want to officially name it at this moment.
We'll try to come up with something.
I self-proclaimed doesn't hit as hard. I think we need people to come in. But yeah, I think the way I look at my changeup, they got unique movement profiles. I don't think mine's anything special from anybody else's. It's evolved and become better over the course of time, just with understanding all the analytics and the slow-mos and all the things we could do to maximize. But it's just constantly adapting, and I think it comes down to execution. It comes down to accuracy. It comes down to picking the right moments to use it, not overusing it. So I think along those lines.
You've pitched in a lot of places for a lot of different teams,
Yeah.
including across town.
That's right.
You have dealt with success and failure in this town. What do you think the key to dealing with that and finding that success is?
Doing a lot of TikTok videos to soften the blow. No, I think it's just being honest, being genuine. We know this game's hard. We know people demand excellence. We demand it of ourselves. I hope people understand that we really do care and that there's not a person on this entire planet that wants us to succeed more than we do for ourselves outside of family and friends. And so when it comes down to it, it's just post-game interviews, taking the credit through bad times, understanding the good times, and explaining that and being upfront. I think people just want honesty. They want to see who you are, and I'm a bit of a different person on the mound than I am in real life, but it's a switch, and I think that's something that people need to understand, and that there's a bit of a psychopath on the mound, and when we're off, we're as goofy and chasing butterflies. So yeah, I think it's just all that into a vacuum, and you just say, hey, look, at the end of the day, I'm doing my best, man.